Welcome to Level Grind. I'm Tyler from 2-Hit Combo, and this is our Xmas Buyer's Guide for 2011. Now, I don't know about you, but growing up, I was always looking forward to Christmas because that's when I'd be getting some kick-ass video games, like the Super Scope for the SNES, for those that remember that. Or my Auntie Heather, she would always give me a DS game, but sometimes she would put macaroni in a cereal box to get me off the trail and wrap that, but I always knew. So Auntie Heather, you know what my expectations are this year. Don't disappoint your favorite nephew. For those of you who have a 3DS, well, the game that you're going to want to go for is Super Mario Land 3DS. I've talked about it on a previous show. Any Mario fan in the house, if you own a 3DS or you're thinking about getting one, this is definitely what the kid wants to be playing Christmas morning, because I know what I'll be playing Christmas morning, probably that again, even though I already own it. Next up, Star Fox 64 3D. It's the Star Fox game from the Nintendo 64 era, but definitely updated for the 3D. The cool part about this game specifically is that in the multiplayer version, you only need one cartridge to play 4 people, allowing everyone to play as long as they've got 3DSs. And while you're playing, it's like a virtual dogfight with the airplanes in the air. There's a live view of your face from the camera, so you can always see what everybody else you're fighting against, what their face looks like, and if they're like, ah, you can see that. It sounds nuts, but it's totally cool. So for the 3DS, those are my 2 recommendations. If you've got an Xbox, Gears 3 is a classic game. It's one of the best and exclusive games to the Xbox 360. So Gears 3 is really good. Fighting evil hordes of enemies and lots of online multiplayer fun stuff to be had. For those that like to play the arcade games for the Xbox 360, it is not a bad idea to give Xbox Live points. $20 for 1,400 points. Games range anywhere from 400 to 1,200 points on average, so it's good to download virtual games and play them online. There's also a trial for most games as well, so you can try it before you buy it. If you're a PS3 fan, there's lots of good stuff for the PS3 out there, including Uncharted 3, which I've also talked about on a previous game. Uncharted is one of my favorite games in the entire PlayStation library. The third one, while it does have a little bit of a slowness in some parts, definitely when you add them all up together, it's an excellent game and one that you definitely want to have under the tree this year. Also, one of my favorite games of all time is called Shadows of the Colossus. It was released for the PlayStation 2 in 2005, so like a super long time ago. They've redone it with HD graphics, so you can go back and play that experience now, especially for those who are a little bit too young back in the day. The really cool thing about Shadows is that there's no enemies in the game. There's only end bosses. The end bosses are literally 100 stories tall compared to you, and the levels are really figuring out, how do I climb on top of this enemy, find a weak point, and stab him to death. So it's a lot of fun. Maybe not for the younger kids. I think it's a mature title, so take a look at that before you buy it, but definitely a lot of fun to be had playing that. So for the iPhone lover in your home or handheld player in your home, get them an iTunes gift card, let them use it to buy some games on it. That's a great stocking stuffer. And actually, there's like a bit of a deal sometimes. If you go to Walmart, you can sometimes buy 3 $10 gift cards for like $25, so you can save $5 on it. I'm very frugal like that, so I always want to try to save money where I can, because it just means more free games. So if you've got anything you'd like to recommend for people for Christmas, send me a ring on Twitter, for2hitcombo.com. I'm Tyler, and you just leveled up.